All right, jumping into Nintendo's new high school esports partnership. So we had actually, Swinny, and I'd would have to really. Oh, here you've got it. When would I ever doubt you, my man? So we had previously spoken about this. So PlayVS, which is like in America, high school sports is massive. It's nothing like Australia, where they're only really the rich private schools have their own like little competitions internally. Like in the States, collegiate, and then also I can't remember what they call the high school system. It's like really big.
If you're going to play VS site, they just say high school and college. So,
okay, high school and college.
Yeah.
And so, to the point where people, in towns, like the Friday night game of football is massive. Like everyone goes. And it's high school.
Or varsity might be the term.
Yeah, varsity, maybe that's right.
That's what that means. Okay.
Yeah. So, and PlayVS was like going, okay, we want to do Smash Brothers and Splatoon. And then Nintendo came across and said, nah, don't like offer these games. You can't, we're not going to allow you. We want to do our own thing. That's how they framed it. We wanted to do their own thing. And I think both Swinny and I said at the time, they're not going to do anything. Like, they're not like organized in that way, and they don't think like that, and they don't care enough. So it was like, oh, what a shitty thing to do. And then out of nowhere, PlayVS announced with Nintendo that they've totally done a backflip, and they're going to allow them to use Smash, Splatoon, and Super Mario Kart as an esports high school competitive games.
Just to clarify, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not Super Mario Kart. Although Super Mario Kart as an esport,
I would kill
it. Cool.
I would kill at that, dude. Yeah, and that's to join other games like Rocket League, FIFA, Madden, League of Legends, and SMITE. I don't actually know what SMITE is.
Oh, it's a game that I've always known about, but don't care enough to actually look up really what it is.
Free to play. I'm already dropping off once I read that. Thanks.
I think it's like a MOBA or something. Or
MOBA.
Action MOBA or something.
Just cannot get into MOBAs. So PlayVS and Nintendo plan to provide Nintendo Switch systems to hundreds of schools, with 3,000 qualifying schools receiving either Smash Brothers or Splatoon 2 and a 12-month Nintendo Switch Online membership.
That 12-month Nintendo Switch Online membership, man, they've got to, that's breaking the bank on that one. I guess when you say 3,000 schools, that adds up a bit. It does. Yeah. Does add up.
But this is really cool.
The amount of marketing they can get out of this, come on. It's an investment, surely.
Now, so America is way different to Australia. Like, sure, they have the whole anti-game violence, all that kind of stuff. But could you imagine something like this launching in Australia?
Oh, no way at all, man.
Why not?
Just doesn't. We don't have that culture, as you said, of sports in schools that they do. Like sports is
esports
huge.
In schools. You mean not actual sports?
No, just sport,
but sports.
Sports, because this is very much like the whole lettering thing of people like joining teams and getting like credit for it. That stuff is like huge in America, especially when you hit the college system. In Australia, I mean, we have like sports is such a huge part of our culture, but not when you're talking schools.
Because in America, like I only know because obviously I love Rocket League, but the collegiate Rocket League, so the colleges, universities, that's actually massive in America. So like people are like super competitive representing their university or college. And it goes to their like actual official records at the college. Like, we were state champions in Rocket League at this college or whatever. It's kind of nuts, man. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I'd be so into that. Like, I'm super competitive, and I'd be super into that kind of shit.
I think this is a huge step forward for esports in general. While I'm not, we talked about esports. I know Mark's not a fan. I like the idea of esports, but I'm not a fan of esports, if that makes sense. I think this is a huge step forward for it becoming, much more of a mainstream acceptable competitive competition, which I think is a great thing.
But why are you both so anti-esports?
I'm not anti, I just said I'm not a fan.
No, he's not anti.
I don't watch it.
Yeah, I'm not anti either. I'm just not a fan either. I just don't watch it. It doesn't interest me. Watching people play games, I find it boring.
To be fair, neither of you like sports.
Well, it's not just... Yeah, so first of all, neither of us are really big into sports. And secondly, I guess me more so than you, Swinny, I don't like watching other people play games. I want to play my own games.
Yeah.
I just don't get the fascination of just sitting there watching other people play for hours on end. which is also why the whole Twitch thing is interesting to me, because I tried looking on Twitch, I tried looking on Mixer and all that stuff. I get bored after like 30
check the
seconds.
hot tub category.
Even that, I just get bored. I'm like, go jerk off to some porn if you
So
need
when-
that.
Hey,
So-
it's got nothing. Hey, you are sexualizing
Yeah,
these
bullshit.
women.
It's got nothing with that. Please.
All right, we're going down a dark path. But...
Yeah. So I don't look. Each to their own. I mean, if that's the thing you get off on, or you enjoy watching esports, nothing wrong with that. I can totally see the appeal. But
Let's not combine the hot tubs category switch with high school esports, please. That's
Rocket League.
That is.
I don't think there's an
slope.
age limit on the hot tub category, so they're already getting themselves into
Well,
trouble.
no.
I don't. On the category itself, I don't think there is. And that's because what
13
Twitch,
plus.
Twitch
13
is
plus
supposed
for
to be
Twitch.
30 plus, but really, come on.
All right,
how many people
All right,
check for that?
Sweeney's saying abort.
Yeah,
Anyway, abort.
we're clipping this segment.
Let's
for the
go
clips.
back to the high school esports partnerships.
All right, but I look like we're trying to bring it back. PlayVS is very, very cool. Wish something like this could come to Australia, but we are very immature with games and being comfortable with people even playing games too much.
I have to ask. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does not strike me as a game that would be well suited to competitive esports. Just because, look, and maybe this stuff is in Splatoon 2 and I don't know about it, but just the amount of rubber banding and it's great as a fun competitive multiplayer game, but it just seems like it's not the kind of game that's well suited to esports.
Well, I think it's like poker. Poker is a game of skill, I think, in the end, but there is an element of chance, and I think it's the same as this. It's still a game of skill in the end, but yes, there's a huge element of chance, and there's a huge element of like you said, rubber banding, where if you're ahead, you're at a big disadvantage. But I still think the skill involved in being able to avoid the blue shells and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, or just on the poker thing, like I remember I had a really good hand, all chips in, thought I was going to win easily, and then the guy I was playing against, bang, he had a blue shell card. I was out.
I was waiting for it.
I know you do.
Happens with a blue shell card all the time, man. You could have 3 aces and they pull out the blue shell card.
Do you know what I mean? It just seems like the wrong kind of game for that.
Yeah, because it's too much.
It's not a competitive game. It's not a competitive game.
But I guess,
Isn't it?
but I guess if Nintendo looks at what's the biggest selling game on the Switch at this point, isn't it? Or is that Animal
Oh
Crossing?
yeah. It won't get overrun.
Yeah.
They're thinking,
It will never get overrun.
not only is that obviously like it's the reach of that, but also they said that they might consider adding more titles to the competition if this goes well. But I'm thinking, what other games do they have?
What I find weird about, because you can turn the items off
Fortnite.
in Mario Kart Deluxe, 8 Deluxe, but all the competitive rule sets say you should have items on, which is like kind of the contrary to stuff like Smash Brothers, which by default has items on, but all competitive rule sets say turn it off. Like that's what's the number one.
Mario Kart will be boring without items,
Yeah,
I think.
how would
So.
it-
Unless
yeah.
you're doing time trials.
I feel like
No, I like it. I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. I'll always be in the top 2 when I'm playing. Outside of, I'm like right at the end, and then someone gets a blue shell, and then I get smashed. That's why I normally stay in second position all the way to the end of the race.
See, that's part of the skill. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about having the knowledge and the insight and the skill to try to stay in second, and then right at the end know when to strategically pass and use the DRS and yeah.
I'm just imagining high level play where people like constantly like slowing down to get ahead of each other. It's like back and forth.
I think it does happen a lot.
Well, it
Like
would
there's a
happen,
concertina.
yeah.
A lot of people are really bunched up, and everyone knows all the shortcuts. Like, but abuses the hell out of the shortcuts. So yeah, it's quite interesting to watch. Yeah, like I said, looking forward to this. Wish it expanded in Australia, but it wouldn't be the right market for it. All right, let's get into my favorite segment. And it's a big one.